Okay, so when we first start up NetBeans, we have a what looks confusing start page, and it's going to be overwhelming for someone who's never used it or has never programmed before. Don't worry about the start page. If you want, you can go ahead and unclick Show on Startup, and you can close it up. Now, as we see here, we have a blank pane. There's nothing in it. What we're going to do, we're going to make a new project. Now, you're going to be learning Java, so you will want to do the Java, not Java FX. Okay? So choose Java application, not class library. Next, we will name our application. For this case, we'll name it Hello World. Now, it shows you exactly where it's going to be stored. Okay? In this case, you can actually click Browse, and you can actually look through it. Now, we know where it's going to be stored, and it's going to create our main class. If the instructor asks for a different class name, the only thing you'll change is a second part. So we'll name this main, just for example. And you click Finish. Now, it already started a basic program for us. It already gave us our main method, which will go ahead and actually allow the program to run. You can see our class name is main. Package is Hello World. Now, a package just is going to be a collection of classes and programs that can be under the same package name, and will allow them to be kept together and run together. Now, here, libraries, for the class you're in, you don't have to worry about it. This stuff right here, not going to be terribly helpful for you, so you can actually minimize it. Now you have a nice clean area to work with. Now you can see here that there is a tree for the Hello World package. We have Hello World, we have source packages, we have Hello World, and then we have main.java. .java classes are going to be where you will do your programming. When they are compiled, they get a .class extension. So right here is where we're going to start. Now, if you need to add another class or another class file, okay, it's labeled .java, but it is a class file, okay. When you right-click on Hello World and go to New Java class, and for the sake of this, we will just say main2, and see it adds it here. Now, when you want to actually view this stuff, okay, go to your Documents folder, go to NetBeans projects. Here's Hello World. Now, your instructor might want the whole package. If he does, you're going to zip that up. Now you can rename it and make sure it keeps the .zip extension, and it is ready to send off to the instructor. Okay, he might want just the source. In that case, don't worry about this, or this. Just the source directory. In which case, compress it. You're done, rename it, upload it. Okay. So, now that we have that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get rid of our second class here because it's not needed. Always safely delete. You will mess up your program if you do not. Okay, choose these and then refactor. It's gone. Okay, so just as a basic example of how to use NetBeans, okay? Your main method is where you are probably going to start in class. It's where you're going to do your initial programming. When you get into later classes, you'll do additional classes, you'll make additional methods, because really working from main is not a good idea. Okay, so for this example, our Hello World example, we're going to go ahead and code it to print the console to say hello world. Now if you see here, if you're typing it correctly, it'll start actually recommending things to you. This auto completion will be very helpful for you. Okay, so I want to print a line of its own. Nothing will be added to this line other than what I have it specified. So if I click print line, it already starts it for me. Now this doesn't actually do anything yet. If I run it, I click play, you can see here it built successfully but didn't do anything. So that doesn't really help me. Okay, so whenever you're writing something that you want to print out as a string, which is going to be like a sentence in your console, you're going to enclose it in quotes. Okay, so I've got my double quotes here. Nice thing about NetBeans is it puts the opening and closing quotes for me. Now I just type hello world, and that's it. Pretty basic. Now I click play, and look, it says hello world. And that's really all there is to the most basic program you can ever write. Hello world is going to be the starting point for just about everybody when they first start out programming. There is debugging. If you click on this and you click play, you can actually step through it. But I think that's going to be a little bit more advanced than what you need right now. So for the debugging, what you can do, and this will just be a very basic example, and it's not really needed here, but let me go ahead and unclick these. Okay, so what you're going to do, and let's see if I can toggle that. No, go away. Anyway, all right, so when you have a breakpoint, okay, you click on the left-hand side where the number's at, you see that little, it's got a little thing there, it says line breakpoint. Then what you do is you debug. Oops, I clicked the wrong one. Okay, I was actually already in debugging mode. So when we debug the project, you can see here, it runs it differently. We get a variable screen here. It shows you the variables that you have here. Okay, this is the string argument, which is right here, the array. Okay, and then when you continue, we want to step into, it goes through everything and how this works. Okay, and this gets really complicated, so you really don't need to worry about this. You can probably just ignore this part of the video. But it does let you see how you get a value of hello world from the string. And you can actually, when you're using a program and you're using different variables, and your variables where you're not getting the right answer, say it's in a calculation, you can actually look through each one of your variables and you can see what the values are as it runs. But that probably won't be for some time. So we're going to go ahead and stop that. And then we'll go ahead and close that up. Now you do want to remove your breakpoints when you're done, otherwise it gets messy. Let's see, is there any other things? Okay, so let's say if we wanted to rename our main file here because we named it wrong the first time. What we can do is we can right click and we can go to refactor. Okay, we don't just rename in an IDE, we have to refactor. Refactor means that it goes through the entire program, and every instance it finds where that name main.java was used, it's going to rename it. So it has to do it in multiple places. So what we do is we do rename. So now we can rename it to something else. I'll rename it to hello world. Okay, it's good to go ahead and put that into the, probably not for the comments, now that I think about it. And you can actually preview it, and it'll show you all the places it's going to change it. Okay, and then we do refactoring. And look, it even changed our class name for us. And it still works. This is a good thing. Okay, test packages, doesn't matter. Libraries, doesn't matter. Test libraries, doesn't matter. The only thing you're concerned with is this one right here. It starts with a coffee cup, then goes to start source packages, then goes to your package name, then goes to your actual files. Okay, when you're ready and they're done, you know for a fact that they work. That's when you come over to your documents and you go into your NetBeans projects, find the project name, and then you grab the source directory, or if you want solo project, just grab that. Now, don't keep putting all of your assignments into one project, okay? Use new projects each time, okay? So once again, go to Java, okay? And it's gonna be Java application. Click next, and we'll name this one Hello World 2. Okay, and remember here, this is where you change your class name. Just the first part. And we click finish, and it creates it for us. Our package name, everything. Come into NetBeans projects. So yeah, it makes a separate directory for each. And again, same thing as we did before. Now right here, this stuff, you can actually delete it if you want, or you can leave it. It's no big deal. Okay, there's two ways to comment in Java, and you're seeing them both here. If you're going to do multiple lines, you can do it this way. Do a / then asterisk, and then you type your comments. Now, do you see here? It actually closed it for me. You'd always do that. If you don't close it, then it comments out the rest of your program too. Okay, but if you're doing it this way, you can do multiple lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Supposed to be 1. Okay, that's the first way to comment. Second way is if you're just doing a few lines and you don't want to really do it that way, because that's actually a little bit less flexible, is that you do /. This is a comment. As you see, there's no need to close it because it just does that one line. This is another comment. So that's how you do commenting, and you're probably going to want to have to do that. You can delete commenting that's already in here, but if your instructor wants you to title your assignment and so forth in your source code, this is where you use your commenting. And you can actually use comments. Okay, so this one says to do code application logic here. Well, we are going to do that, but we're going to say this will print hello world. Whoops. Hello world to the console. Okay. Don't go crazy with your comments, but make sure that your code is explained on how it works. And once again, as we did before, system.out.print line hello world. Now, what if we wanted to add additional sentences? Okay, actually it's pretty easy. Put a space in here. Okay, plus sign, just like if you're adding them, and then we'll say, and we'll put a little space in there because if you don't put a space in here, it'll actually run it right into that exclamation point. So there. You see this plus sign actually adds these two sentences together so that when I click play, hello world, this is Jeremy. Now, there's also escape characters, because if we did something like this, and this is pretty common, okay, you might think that, hey, this will go to the second line. Well, if we run it, no, it does not. Program code does not work that way. You have to use what are called escape characters. So if I wanted this on a separate line, okay, I'm going to get rid of my plus sign. So you see my hello world, this is Jeremy, and I have it all in the same string. When we're talking about escape characters, we can use a new line character to actually move things to the second line. So I'm actually going to get rid of all these spaces because I don't need the space between the sentences anymore because I'm moving this to the next line. This escape character to move something to a second line is a \n. And it looks funny. Looks like it probably wouldn't work. Looks like it'll say, hello world, \n, this is Jeremy, but watch what happens. And that should conclude everything you need to know about NetBeans and starting your first programming class.